Mavathor, do we have everyone back?
Yeah, I think.
Think
Yeah, I think
so.
so.
Cool. Um, Mavathor, as you're looking into these marbles, one of the like sort of milky, the milky sheen of one of them sort of fades away as you're gazing into them, and you see a little image in there uh, begin to play of yourself, some memory from your life, some time where you experienced one of these deep feelings of pain or sorrow or longing or guilt or remorse. What is the memory that can be seen in this marble?
Well, it wasn't truly that long ago, but
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It can be
yeah.
recent.
See scene of the original party, standing underneath El Torel before, just as it's barely starting to dip into the river Styx, and you see Mavthor like genuinely questioning if he's doing the right thing, and hearing, I believe it was Zariel who said it, that the party had made genuine enemies of Asmodeus, and just like the sheer pain and dread that inflicted on him, that he might have displeased the guiding light of his life, that genuine paranoia stuck with him, and it still almost lingers with him to this day.
The two of you, as you're gazing down at the marbles, this one of Mamathor's memories inside. You can both see it, and one by one, marbles, they begin to the cloudy sheen kind of fades, and you can see the movement of memory within them. And Jin, what do they glimpse in the marble of one of your painful memories?
Can I go last, please?
Oh,
I'm
sure.
still thinking.
Yeah, sure. I have an idea for Mercy, but Mercy, what do they see in your marble?
I think what they would see would be a younger Mercy, maybe only 16, 17. And there appears to be almost like a ceremony or a passing on goings because she's surrounded by other people. And then there's an emergency that her brother has gone missing, trying to collect a payment that they were all supposed to go for. And when she chases after him, she finds him dead. The people who had hired them thought it best to try and kill them to keep the contract a secret and to avoid payment. And at this point, she was just taking over the role as the leader of the Hell Rose, and it's also the first time she kind of lost control of her, basically the animal inside, and she tore them all apart. She still bears scars from it, and that's where she got her sword, from the one who had killed her brother. And she carries it as a reminder for herself, just as much as anyone else, that she never wanted to let something like that happen again.
You guys glimpse this memory play within the marble, and motion in another one of the five draws your attention, and as your eyes are kind of darting between them all, trying to take it all in at one time. Lilith, what is your painful memory that they see? Or that the two of you see?
Probably It is the first time she ever left the castle grounds. She saw a little girl playing outside, and she wanted to join her because she had like no friends her age. They started playing, but as soon as the little girl saw her fangs, she screamed and ran away. And it really genuinely upset Lilith, and I think it still does to this day.
And Lepus, they see in your marble.
Yeah, I think they see the time when Phylaxis was first killed by Bell, and the pain that Lepid felt when his heart had stopped beating, and as he was clutching his dead body even after they were teleported, and it not being within his arms anymore. And I think him fully losing himself in that, and all that pain and sorrow and agony.
And Jin, what's hiding in those shadows?
The sterile halls of a underground facility. Two other people with masks similar to the one that Jin wears, standing over with weapons. A line of prisoners dressed in plain and tattered garb. You know you can only choose one, and the others will be killed to preserve the secrets of the program. The program that you initiated and you direct. You walk down the line of prisoners, picking one, and you see a feminine figure, seemingly innocent. And you choose her, knowing that her soul will be rent from her body and placed in a machine of war.
In the 6 marble, you see like a series of memories that play. You see like a young girl like walking through the forest with her dog, and there's like little streams of light coming through the canopy of the trees, and you see the girl and the dog's heads both like snap in one direction, and a bear kind of charges out of the woods between some trees and charges at this child and her companion, and the bear kind of mauls the dog and is about to then maul the girl, and a flock of ravens like flutter out of the trees and sort of caw and flap around the bear, chasing it off. And then you see a series of images, and in each one the girl is like a little older, but she's in all of them you can see like she's casting like the shadow of a raven off of her, and she is moving through time, and she has a satchel just like this one that you were given, Lilith, and she's going from place to place in times where people are suffering through these painful moments. She's collecting memories in these clear little glass spheres the size of marbles. And the last one you see, she's near the age of the old woman that you sort of saw there in your dreams in the alleyway. And you see Vecna appear, and he holds out his hand, and he rips the woman's shadow that she casts away from her, and she kind of like collapses to the ground, and then he takes the bag of marbles, memories she's been collecting. And you get the impression, Lilith, in your mind, since you've had dreams about the Raven Queen through a lot of your life, that this woman was a servant of the Raven Queen, and in this final exchange, essentially, she has passed on her mantle of servitude to you, the collector and the guardian of these painful memories for the Raven Queen. And you can feel the birthmark that you have. It's not painful, but it's tingling, and what was kind of like blotchy before sort of begins to spread out on your skin, and it becomes this more, instead of this like faint outline of a raven, it becomes this kind of detailed on your forearm, long, sort of tattoo-like image of just a black feather. And you feel this like obscure connection that you've always wondered about, that's like always been at the edges of your dreams, all like spill into you at once, and you can feel like the sadness and the pain of all the memories contained in these marbles, and you can like see a lot of the life that the previous servant, the old woman, had, like they kind of absorb into your own memories, and you can almost like play her whole life in your mind, and then of the one before her, and there's this like trail of memories of these servants of fate down to the Raven Queen that have now led to you.
I think she kind of like stumbles back a little bit, just kind of like from like the shock of it all. And I think she just kind of blinks for a moment. She looks over at Mavithor and she's like, "You saw those in the marbles too, didn't you?"
Yeah, I saw all of that.
What do I do now?
I don't know. I don't know what this means necessarily for you, but it's unusual that they had memories specifically of us, and I can only assume it's the previous owner of this bag. Is there anything else in there?
She kind of like does one of these with the bag, sees if anything falls out.
Now that you're thinking about it, and you see, after you see the 6 marble, it kind of comes to you both, or I guess not both at the same time, but Mavithor, you recognize in her old woman state, you realize that that was To you, it looked like Mad Maggie.
Hmm. Kind of cocks his head to the side and says that's strangely poetic. She, kind of briefly explain who Mad Maggie was and say she was, I think obsessed is a strong word, but dedicated to seeing the outcome of Celestials, here in Avernus, specifically having a hand in their fate.
Is she still around?
I don't know if you can do like a quick inventory check to see if, Mad Maggie's still kicking.
Doing a quick inventory of the souls currently in Avernus, you do not sense Mad Maggie's presence lingering in Avernus any longer. Well, you know what? That's not true. You do. You sense the spirit, the essence, whatever remains left of her in the raven that now accompanies Lilith.
Okay, yeah. I'll just kind of point to the raven and say that is closest that I can seemingly identify as Mad Maggie, or was.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Admittedly, I'm not sure what this new role would entail for you, but I don't suppose you could pull Vecna's most painful memory out of that bag, could you?
Let me see. And she'll try and reach in.
It seems that there were only these 6 clouded marbles, but there are a few more clear, blank ones. But you did glimpse in the marble of Maggie's memories an encounter with Vecna, and we'll count that as a secret. You guys earned a secret there. And you all also earned a DM inspiration for sharing your painful memories.
Yeah. They'll kind of shrug and say, well, it was worth a try.
Is that inspiration just for the 2 of them?
No, for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Hooray.
Well, I can't speak from any personal experience, but it seems like your Raven Queen is strange and an enigma of sorts.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me a little bit of myself, though.
Yeah, I'll nod and say, yeah, you are still a bit of a mystery. But
Well, I hope I can be a
assume,
little bit of a mystery a little longer.
yeah, but he'll say, but I suppose you prefer it that way.
I mean, I hope one day I could open up to someone. It's just hard, you know? At least
Yeah.
for people like us.
I always find comfort in confiding with Asmodeus. Maybe you can try and confide in the Raven Queen.
It's not a bad idea. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, he'll kind of shake the pain of the memory off of him before he drops it back in the bag and says, we should finish resting up. We have a long journey ahead of us.
Yeah. That's very true. And she'll kind of like touch her shoulder like very gingerly and be like, I'm sorry about what happened between you and Lasmodeus back then.
Yeah, I'd like to think he chose to forgive me, because why else would I be the Archduke of Avernus?
You've got a very good point.
So Lilith, you can have access to your warlock abilities now, and your the thing you messaged me about your birthmark. You can have those abilities. I'm fine with that.
Woohoo! Thank you.
I think that's the first time I've had someone like. Usually warlocks start as warlocks, you know? They don't RP their way there. So that was kind of fun. You guys have a long rest in the fires of Avernus. Just because, you know, the party's a little split right now. We don't have to go through like we don't have to RP all the way through like the material plane and informing Lord Nemrember of what you discovered and all that if you don't want to. You can just kind of glaze over it. Unless you want to have an interaction with Lord Neverember or anything like that.
Nope, I would just like to collect my simulacrum, though. Those are expensive.
But you guys, after your long rest in the forges, you know, morning comes, the rest ends, and after informing Lord Neverember of what you discovered in the mausoleum, I guess I would ask. Well, I'll tell you that after you guys inform Lord Neverember of discovering the cult of Vecna beneath in the bowels of the cemetery in Neverwinter, by the time you guys return to the material plane, the cult has cleared out of the mausoleum. After you guys investigated and informed Lord Neverember of the two citizens that you recovered, they find the other two murdered in the bowels of the mausoleum, and the cultists have scattered to the winds. They left even in such a hurry that in the little library of books and records that they had been compiling, they left a lot of that behind. They left so quickly, likely not wanting to be, you know, discovered by anyone, keeping their identities a mystery. Lord Neverember had promised to offer you some homes in the city of Neverwinter. But because only half of the citizens were recovered, instead of a dwelling for each of you, he only offers you 2.
Mercy wouldn't take it. So.
Jin's been there for a year prior to meeting the party. He already secured himself a temporary dynasty. He would also decline.
Like this reward, it would come with like all the official documentation, the deeds of ownership, and everything to the residents of your vacant residence of your choosing. Currently, Neverwinter is still recovering from some of its recent history of eruption of the volcano nearby Mount Hotenu, and Neverwinter is probably still only at about half of its capacity for population, as Lord Neverember tries to continue to rebuild the city and get it back into its former state before the catastrophe of the eruption of the volcano. After you guys settle all that business with Lord Neverember, what would you guys like to do? Does anyone have any business that they would like to wrap up on the material plane? I imagine you guys are chasing Windfall. That's like your ultimate next step, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mamathor would like to stipulate that he looks up the property in Neverwinter, but he would prefer to be converted into another church for Asmodeus.
Lord Neverember begrudgingly agrees.
Lilith finds the biggest house and is like, "This is mine."
Nice. Yeah, my only business is picking up my simulacrum.
Okay.
He's just been sitting there at the mausoleum this whole time.
Yeah.
Can Lilith get some more bolts for her crossbow?
Well, I guess your simulacrum would have encountered the cultists fleeing the mausoleum.
Well, I pity them because he's a 13th level wizard.
All right, we're going to the leader of the cult was actually a fairly powerful wizard themselves, and they did have some Vecna themed flavored Nothics with them that were fairly powerful. Why don't you give me a DC 25 Arcana check for your simulacrum?
Sure. We can probably make that. If we don't roll a 2.
Inspiration.
Oh!
On that though, well, yeah, I guess if it saves my simulacrum,
Well,
inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, like, what would your simulacrum do if it started to lose a fight like that?
I mean, he's got orders to stand by and guard. So I guess he'd wall of force the entrance so they can't go anywhere. Maybe a teleport is willing only. No, man, I guess maybe he would lose. All of his stuff is support based.
So
And his orders are guard the entrance. So yeah, he'd throw a wall of force to buy time, then mirror image, and yeah, the only thing this guy's got to deal damage is fireball.
well, with the leader of the cult and the Vecna's minions that were stationed there in the mausoleum, they'd probably be able to overwhelm your simulacrum. So they'd probably destroy it.
Okay, well that's a shame. I like Tego.
It'd probably just cost you what, money and time to make another one.
Yeah, that's a 12-hour spell. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Mm.
You bastards! Oh, when I find out who popped Fago, you're going to hear. You and I are going to have words. Those words are Shadowblade.
Yeah. Well, after you get all that business resolved, you guys, I don't know, meet up somewhere in the city again, probably. Discuss, I suppose, how you're going to go after Windfall.
At this point, Mercy will probably offer to lead them all to her ship, if they're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yeah,
Okay,
do you want to unveil your ship to the crew? And tell them about it a little
Yes.
bit?
Yes. I don't know if you want to share the image we had or if they can see it.
I can do that.
Yeah, it's hiding out in the woods in camouflage. When that's dropped, it looks incredibly conspicuous here. Because A, it's a spaceship, and B, the coloring does not match anything around here. But if you look at it hard enough, you'd be able to see that it would probably blend in perfectly amongst the stars that you see at night. And on the side is that giant symbol of the three-headed dog. But she'll just kind of gesture to it. Welcome to the Hellrose. Make yourselves at home.
Is there a picture of it somewhere?
Yeah, I thought Ryan shared it.
I can.
Maybe I just clicked it.
I thought I did. It should pop up, but
It popped
I don't
up
know.
for me.
Maybe if I do this.
There we go.
Yay!
Choosif.
That's so awesome.
Oh, that's super cool.
That was me experimenting with a new program on my tablet. It was very awkward.
I love it.
Yeah, like I said, very conspicuous out here in the Neverwinter forest, but out amongst the stars, very well camouflaged. But yeah, she'll just lead everyone inside and probably head straight for the control deck, essentially. Anyone who's really paying attention can probably tell that it just something feels off inside. Although having never been there, that might be hard to see, but you can see in the command center where things were obviously recently moved that had been there for a long time, just faint imprints of things as she moves over to the control panel and starts typing in commands.
How long will it take for us to reach Eberron?
God?
About 6 seconds.
It's an interesting question. You power up your ship Mercy, and I guess it probably can. Does it just camouflage to the stars, or can it camouflage to like anything that's it's kind of around? Is it like a chameleon of sorts?
We didn't talk about that a whole lot. We just figured that she had some way to cloak it while it was parked here.
Hmm. It probably took you.
I know, I think you said a week from the Mournlands back to where she met with House Thrask.
Yeah, you know, this is where some of the stuff could get a little. I've been struggling kind of whether or not I'm going to make traveling in the Astral Sea sort of uniform, or if different vessels from different places have different speeds and means of travel. I think Cass's ship I don't know if more advanced is the right word, but has a different means of travel than your ship does, Mercy. And you know, you're gonna actually have to spend some time like traveling through the Astral Sea. I would say it took about 5 days traveling from Eberron. You know, 5 quote-unquote days. Time also becomes kind of muddled throughout the Astral Sea, and that's another thing that I've been struggling with, whether or not I'm going to make uniform. Different parts of the multiverse are going to be different or the same. But we'll say that it'll take probably 5 days if your travel is uninterrupted to return back to Hebron from Faerun.
Okay.
Because you can travel quite fast, but Cass's ship can more kind of hold astral space a little bit more, and yours is more of like a, you know, a hyperspace kind of thing, more like Star Trek travel, you know. Minus the warp speed.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say probably about five like days, and that's if you don't encounter any dangers in the Astral Sea.
Okay.
And I think that
As the engine.
I think I wouldn't be a very good dungeon master if I didn't make you encounter any dangers in the Astral Seas.
Well, I mean, we didn't discuss it either, but I'm hoping this thing has weapon systems.
Well, at this point, I'm a little behind. It does have weapon systems, and I'm gonna have to come up with we'll have to come up with like some rules for ship
That
stuff
block.
and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my bad. I didn't get ahead of myself enough in that department. But in this part of the Astral Sea, you guys can traverse outside of the vessel without having to worry about like breathing or you know, imploding in on yourselves or freezing to death or anything like that. In this part of the wild space.
Right.
But once you cross, you know, the boundaries of the Astral Sea into a different part of the multiverse, things could change. And you know, in your part of, your corner of the universe, Mercy, that it is a little bit more like traditional space, although there are magical means of allowing travel outside of the vessel and protected bubbles and stuff like that. But it's more dangerous than like this part of the Astral Sea, which is more of a realm of thoughts almost. But you guys take off and leave the atmosphere. You can see like Toriel kind of behind you as you break the barriers of the silvery clouds into the wild space, into the astral sea, and you set a course for Eberron. As you are traveling, about a day goes by uninterrupted, and then the vessel, your instruments pick up the faint sensation of life forms nearby.
DM, do you mind if I use that day of downtime to do things?
Yeah, for sure.
I have a lot of things to do.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
With 12 uninterrupted hours of downtime, I will remake Vago.
Hell yeah.
Now one level higher and with slightly more spells.
Yay! Just as an aside, everyone will probably notice that the quarters on the ship also seem they're put together and neat, but they also seem like they've been very recently vacated of any personal effects. And there's an inscription in Infernal in the bridge as well.
Ooh. What does it say?
Does anyone speak Infernal?
Navathor probably does.
Yeah, boy, I wonder.
Well, if you speak it, you would be able to see that it just says an odd series of 3 words. It just says "Never die easy."
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
Mhm. There's a story behind it, but I don't know if Mavathor would care.
Yeah. Do you ask Mavathor?
I mean, no offense, it doesn't matter. He's pretty aloof.
I suppose he'll say that's a interesting bit of text you have there. Any particular reason?
He'll look up at what you're talking about and just kind of give a soft laugh. It is you could say the family motto. My grandmother hunted down a demon once in her time, and it said that we were all a bunch of devils. And for some reason that amused her so much that she put the family motto in Infernal and hung it in here. Odd sense of humor, but you wouldn't want anyone else having your back.
Yeah, I can appreciate slaying demons.
I'm sure. None of us ever will go easy. I'm not sure any of us have even died in our sleep. It has always been in violence somehow and taking others down with us.
Don't I know it?
I think Lilith is just kind of drowning out all the noise and just looking outside of like the window. She's never really seen stars like this before. I think it's very fascinating to her. She's kind of got like this childlike wonder in her eye.
Mm-hmm. Mercy would probably ask Jin, too, as the only other person who probably has any experience with this type of vessel, to help man it whenever she needs to be resting.
Yeah. After a long rest, you'll see that he easily accepts and guides your ship with a surprising amount of proficiency, considering that I don't think you've ever seen it before.
You at least have an idea. I think the other two would be pretty lost.
I mean, Mavithor's piloted an infernal machine before. How different could it be?
Lilith has no clue what anything is. That's why she's just staring out the window.
I mean, go for it. There's plenty of pretty stars and not much to do right now. So.
While you guys are moving through astral space, your instruments do pick up a faint pulsing of 3 life forms and some larger mass of some sort of organic material some distance away.
Can I use the ship's instruments to try and make a more detailed observation of whatever it's picking up?
Yeah, do you like shift your course towards the
I think she would, just because I get the
source?
feeling it would be odd to detect something like that out here in this particular area.
You change the course of the vessel momentarily. It slows, and you start to drift towards the direction of your sensors. And I guess that your ship would be able to detect this as you get a little closer, because it is one of your favorite enemies. So I imagine that your ship is also kind of attuned to this. These life forms are reading as undead when you get closer.
Even more concerning. I think she would. Yes.
But it doesn't give you like much beyond that. As you guys keep drifting closer, you would probably have to like make some sort of visual contact. So as you're like peering out of the ship, why don't you give me perception checks?
The crowd or just Mercy?
Woo.
I mean, anyone who's watching to try and spot. What you can see out the window as you guys are drifting towards these life forms that the ship has picked up is there's like a small mass, a cluster of purple rock that is like drifting through astral space, kind of bound together by the gravity of the formations, and it's all kind of drifting, kind of floating there. And as the vessel kind of turns around the mass, kind of clinging to one side under the rock in the shadow, you can spot some dark vessel clinging to the side of the rock. And you guys see sort of in the shadow of this floating mass in space, the sides of the ship pick up this warm glow, and from this distance you just see like the outline of a figure being pushed out of the side of the vessel, and they sort of drift away from the rock a little bit, and then in like a flash of red light, the ship's engines fire all the way on. What's been going on in this time, Lepus, is Windfall, in a bit of a haste, returns, and she storms into the Cass's ship, and she says, we gotta get out of here. Cass, turn on the ship. And Cass is like, we've got like 6 more hours, Mercy, before, or Windfall, before the hull is fully repaired itself. And Windfall says, I don't care. We need to get out of here now. And she says, I'll make a distraction. Just get us out of here quickly. And Windfall storms up to you, grabs you by your collar, Lepus, and she says, yeah, well, this is where we part ways. It's time for you to be bait again. And the flaps of the ship open, and she kicks you out into astral space, and Cass gives you this, like, pitied look, and the ship flies off the side of the rock. And you can see this other vessel approaching. You can just barely make out the outline of it as it gets closer and closer to the rock here that you guys have been resting the ship on as you're drifting out beside it. And eventually, like, as you guys are shifting around, some light is cast off of into the dark space where Cass was resting his ship, and you guys can see Lepus floating there in the astral sea, as there's like a streak of red light moving off in the distance in space.
We have an opportunity to probably not. Never mind.
I was gonna suggest that if we destroy their ship, they're suspended in the astral sea indefinitely, or unless they find a planar portal. So it's gonna be a long time before they do anything. So
how big is that ship? Out of curiosity.
How big? It is probably, in terms of weight, 2, 4, 6. Probably like 6 tons.
Okay, and how? What's its dimensions?
I would say it is probably. Let's work this out. From end to end, it's probably 40 feet long and 30 feet wide.
Okay. How far do you think that ship's gonna get with a wall of force parked in front of it?
Can a wall of force like extend indefinitely in
No.
every direction?
But if thrown in front of their path and the way they're going, they'll hit a wall of force pretty hard. Maybe that does something.
All right, I guess we'll roll initiative.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a couple shots.
I
We have
guess
to have the dog out of the way.
I guess Mercy roll initiative for your ship,
Okay.
which is just you roll initiative.
Okay.
And we'll come up with. I got to come up with some vessel rules because this stuff's going to become more prevalent probably in the future.
24.
Okay, you guys get to act first.
Yeah. I mean, Matt before was really like steaming about it. It seems, and they're right there. So
I would say you guys are probably around 1,000 feet away.
Oh, never mind.
Well, let's see.
I mean, you could use your action to prepare to cast it.
How far could you reasonably?
It's true.
See. Probably 800 feet away.
How fast can the ship move and around?
It'll be. I mean, it takes off pretty quickly.
How fast can our ship move?
in the way that Cass's ship can travel, not as fast. They'll be hard to follow.
Since we go first, can I possibly get close enough for Jin to cast his spell?
Yeah, I would say you can. I would say yes. Yeah, that's fine.
Ready action to when we're close enough, and then I'll throw a wall of force just a few feet out, so they can run into it with a degree of energy behind it.
Yeah, Mercy's okay with that. She'll try and get close enough for Jin to be able to do that.
Okay, you close the distance between the 2 points to a spot where Jin is able to cast. Now, this was this came up in our previous battle, but you can't cast you can't have any barrier to cast a spell, right? Because Mercy or Windfall tried to cast out through the windshield of their ship, and
Yeah, I mean, in theory, Jin could poke his head out, right? And
yeah.
Okay.
Roll down the window.
You'll have to disembark or get out of the ship before you cast it.
That's fine. I'll for the sake of brevity, I will bamf outside the ship for the bonus action, and then wall of force.
Okay, this Cass's ship does collide with the wall of force, the barrier. You see like a wobble of energy from around Cass's ship as the two forces collide, and the rest of you can act. You are now within 120 feet of their ship.
Does Lep go on?
Lep will go on Cass's ship's turn.
Okay.
Would I be correct in that my turn is just operating the ship?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Just making sure.
Yeah. We'll put all these ship rules more concretely. I'll make sure that I prioritize that between now and next session.
well, since he's in range, Mavathorn will cast slow on the ship.
Lilith? Lilith's gonna turn to Mercy and be like, what can I do right now?
Did I move you guys over to the space map? Oh yeah, okay, good.
But she's gonna go ahead and start going for Lep. She's gonna Misty Step out of the ship.
Okay.
And then she'll start dashing towards Lep.
Lep.
Yes. So Lep is Lep within 120 feet of the wall of force?
You're within 10 feet of it.
Would he be able to cast dispel magic on it?
If you want to.
Okay.
Counterspell.
No, Wall Force is immune to dispel magic.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know wall of force. I didn't know if it would.
That's
okay.
probably in your best interest right now, Lep.
I think he just sees Lilith coming towards him and is going to, I think, just dash, and Misty Step, just this way.
Okay, why don't you all... we'll get official. Why don't you all select your tokens and roll initiative?
Oh, man.
Ooh, 25 again.
Dang.
I'm gonna use my inspiration for that initiative. Okay, that's better.
All right, Jin.
Question.
After
Go ahead.
well, like after the ship crashes into the barrier. Actually, it's fine. I'll just wait till it's their turn again. Yeah, go ahead, Jin.
Question. We are not on Corel or Avernus anymore. Can I use Dragon Shard to substitute material components?
You can always use Dragon Shard to substitute material components.
Okay. You, Lep, I think your name was Mavathor has wishes to have a word with you. So let's stick you in a box.
Oh.
Until and stay there.
Anything else, Jin?
I will put the ship between myself, or I'll try. I don't know what movement is like in this area.
Right now, outside of the ship, your guys' movement speed is 5 times your intelligence.
Oh. Score or modifier?
Score.
Jin zipped to the other side of the map and out of range. That's turn.
Okay. Lilith's gonna keep going after Lep. Lep's caged now, right?
Yep.
Yep.
She's gonna say, Lep, you're coming with us. And then she's, actually, Jen, are you still out of the ship? Or did you go back
Yep.
inside? Okay.
Yeah, he's still floating around. Super
she's
quick.
gonna say, should I do him in the cage?
So I missed the first part of that.
She was asking, should she grapple him, or should she just leave him in the cage? Trying to get him back on the ship.
You won't be able to get to him in the cage. So he can be set aside for now.
Okay, well, in that case, she's gonna turn into a swarm of bats, and she's gonna start flying to the ship. The other ship.
Okay. Yeah, you can get to roughly where the other ship is, probably.
Okay. That'll be your turn for now.
Oh, Ryan, my initiative's incorrect on there.
What's
It
yours?
should be 25.
Oh, okay, sorry. My bad.
No, that's okay.
Do you want to move the ship anywhere?
I'll move it closer, and I don't know if I can take a shot or just get closer.
Yes. Why don't you tell me what you envision the weapon systems to be like on your ship? And I'll tell you what you can do with those weapons.
Brain work. I imagine as a basic, she would probably have what her rifle is to her. She would probably have 2 equivalent things attached to the ship.
Okay. Make an attack roll with your weapon.
Okay. That is no mercy.
The guns on your ship fire at Cass's vessel, and you see that the forceful projectiles bounce off like a shimmering barrier that is around Cass's ship currently.
Do I get my second attack, or do I just have one with the ship?
Yeah, if you have 2 guns on there, you can fire twice. Yeah, that's fine. The second shot, the same. It bounces off the barrier. There's like a little shimmer of energy.
I really wish I got some kind of combat bonuses against favored enemy. Okay.
Lilith and a swarm of bats close the distance, and you're flapping around the ship now.
Mm-hmm.
You're flapping around the ship. You can see Cass in there fiddling with his control panels, and as you're flapping around in a swarm of bats around the front of their ship, you can see Mercy gazing out of the window with this look of malice on her face. She's like up on her feet, leaning on the panel, and just gritting her teeth out the window. You can like see her little fangs coming down over her bottom lip. Actually, like she's gritting her teeth so hard that one of her fangs like punctures her lip, and a little trail of blood like falls down her chin. Lep, I don't know what you can do in your cage. Can you cast spells in there?
It looks like you can. You just can't get out unless it succeeds a charisma saving throw.
Oh, okay. Do you want to make that?
Yeah.
I guess you would have made it when they cast.
Silvery barbs.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my inspiration. Can I do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Damn it.
I guess you probably would have made that save when the spell was cast on you, so you cannot get out of your cage, but you can still take your turn.
Okay, yeah. He's gonna look towards Lilith and say, Lilith, you have to let them go.
I can't do that. I can't. I'm sorry.
You can't? Not for a fellow vampire.
I think she just kind of like her mouth just drops and you see the rage. Because I'm assuming she can kind of put two and two together. And yeah, she's in a blind rage right now. She's not even listening to Lep. She's going after the ship.
Oh, Lilith. Oh, God. Okay. You know, he tried it once. We're gonna see if it'll work. I don't know if divine intervention has a possibility of working in the astral sea. Does it, God?
I mean, you're still within the bounds of Faerun's space, astral space, so I would say you still have some connection to your god currently.
Okay, let's roll a D100. That don't work. He don't do nothing.
As you're shouting to Lilith from the cage, there's like a between you, Jin, and the ship. There's like a crackle of almost like a lightning strike. There's this spark of purple energy that arcs across the sky with this loud cracking sound that follows along with it, like a rumble. And it kind of the power of it kind of jostles the ship a bit, just kind of arcs right across between the two of you there.
Very good.
Mavathor.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, he'll get a bright idea and fly off to where he saw the weapons fire come off this ship right here, and he'll cast a holy weapon on the ship. So if Mercy wants, she can make an attack against the cast of the ship.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you mean right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Would you say that Mercy is within 30 feet of Lep? You don't think so, right?
Mercy's still inside the ship.
Okay.
Do you need line of sight?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that just giving me the force damage?
Oh, I rolled it.
Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, another shot from the ship with the holy weapon. This breaks through the barrier of casts a shield, and it strikes the side of his vessel, leaving a little scorched mark on the side of the hull.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be it for his turn.
All right. There's another sort of crackle of this purple energy. A flash of an arc of purple lightning and a rumble now kind of off nearby, almost like striking through the cage. It like strikes the rocks here just beside you, Leb.
Oh, God.
And when this energy strikes nearby your cage, you feel this sensation of dread kind of wash over you. It's a familiar feeling. You've been in its presence once before. During a fight you were having with a Dragonborn.
Oh, no.
Cass's ship vibrates. There's a pulse of dark energy that kind of emanates out from it, and as the pulse kind of washes out, Cass's ship disappears. It turns invisible. Swarming around it, you can still feel that the vessel's there, Lilith, but and you can feel the wings of Cass's ship flap as it kind of elevates and kind of goes over the wall. You feel it like move away from you.
And she latch on. Their little bat wings.
Yeah, you could try. I guess make like a... like a, a grapple check. Give me like a...
Would that be considered an attack roll?
Oh, this is gonna be rough.
I guess it'd be like a reaction to grapple, maybe. I don't know. It's not... It's consuming a reaction because it's not Lilith's turn, so...
Yeah. Well, I just wondered...
I'm just allowing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying Lep can also use a reaction to possibly impose disadvantage on this. I just don't know.
Yeah, I guess I would say it would be like an attack roll.
Okay.
You're attacking to grab onto the hull of the ship.
Yeah, then he would use his reaction to Warden Flare on her.
Okay, well, since I'm in bat form, I get a -3 to this. Yep. Nope. Okay. That's a -1 for Lilith.
Oh.
You hear a voice. You hear the voice of Cass in your head, Lepus. Sorry we had to leave you here, friend. It was fun practicing relationship with you. You should convince your friends to get out of here.
Yes, you need to leave. He's coming.
There's another arc of purple energy. Lilith, you don't manage to grab onto the ship. But in another strike of purple lightning, this one kind of hangs in the air for a few moments, like the bolt of energy is almost sort of frozen in astral space there, kind of twisted and arced, leaving a scorch mark on this rock floating through astral space, and then just kind of spilling out from it is this just dark void of energy. And then stepping out of the void, you guys see a gangly, fellow, skin withered and stuck to a skeletal frame. He's wearing a suit of armor that almost looks like it's a golden skeletal exoskeleton, like fused to this creature's body. Jin, you see this figure sort of look around. Slowly its gaze turns up towards the floating figures hovering around Mercy's vessel, and then it turns its head towards you, drifting off in the distance. One of its eyes glowing with this same sort of purple energy that these lightning strikes were emanating from. And you guys see this figure now standing on the rock. You've seen him once before, Lepus, and Mavathor down in Avernus, you recognize this as Vecna, and that is where we'll end this session this week.
Oh.
I apologize if that was my fault.
Boy.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, next Wednesday we will discover what happens in this uncomfortable reunion, and we will come up with some solid rules for interstellar travel and ship mechanics. That's totally
Yeah.
the dungeon master's bad there. I just a little behind on some of that stuff.
It's all
Boy,
good.
well,
It's
Vecna's got some serious timing. Couldn't pick a worse moment, I think.
well, I think the whispers.
Well, only
I think,
two people
I think
know
the
who this
whispers
is.
of the cult of Vecna here on Toril have made their way into the right ears, and the adventurer wants Vecna to be just some scary figure that never appears, but the dungeon master doesn't want that.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So we'll see what happens next time. I think maybe since we're gonna try and solidify some of these ship rules in stone, maybe I'll message each of you guys and try and also set up a time between now and next week just to talk about like the longer term, like things that you maybe want to delve into for your like own characters, like personal backstory, so I can sort of like start to think about that. I know Mavathor, I kind of do want to talk to you a little bit about